Hello, everyone. This is Realtor Linda Peltz. Today I'm here with Catrina, and she's going to tell you all about her company and solar. Catrina, take it away.
Hi, I'm Catrina Owens. I work with SEP, which is Solar Energy Partners. So what we do is help people kind of get away from PG&E and their typical, well, whoever their electrical provider is, and we help to get them on solar. You can either do that with buying, leasing, or right now the big thing is we do PPAs. When what that is basically you'd be switching out your utility company is an easy way to put it. So it's no cost to the homeowner. We would put all of our solar stuff on your roof and our panel and everything like that. And then you basically just buy from whichever company we decide works best for each individual, because we work with a whole bunch of different solar companies. So we try to find the best fit for everyone. And eventually it just brings your bill. It basically just brings your bill down. We can lower your bill by 30 to 50%, because right now what you're seeing on a lot of just say typically with PG&E, since I'm in Fresno, we have PG&E. If you look at your bill on your last page, you'll see a bunch of distribution fees and just a bunch of different fees that are tacked onto that. That's because we're not producing power in California. We're getting power from other states. So you're getting charged basically a delivery fee, and those fees are huge. Sometimes they equal just as much as the amount that you're paying for your actual power. So for instance, I'll use my sister example because we're doing hers right now and she won't care if I use her. Her PG&E right now is around $950 a month because they keep jacking up their prices. They keep getting higher and higher and higher. And that is because, again, we're not producing the power that we need here in California, and the grid is basically falling apart. So what happened is everybody went out and got solar when solar became a big thing, but there weren't any batteries or backup like they have now. So what was happening is people were getting solar, and then the energy they weren't using was going back to the grid. Well, the grid was not made to hold that much power in it. So it's essentially falling apart because it's over 100 years old. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's, I know, right? So it's a huge problem here in California, which is why Californians doing these incentives to get homeowners off of using PG&E and other companies like that, because we can't hold the power. So it's just a problem all the way around. And because Governor Jerry Brown signed the Renewable Energy Act back in 2018, and they want California to be 100% renewable energy by 2045. So this is their way of helping people get on board with that. And so it doesn't cost the homeowner anything. Again, we just add our panels and everything on there, and then we find the best price for you. So for example, let me see, I have some notes here. So PG&E's raised their rates 66 times in the last 15 years. They've increased by 36% just in 2023. And they've already said that that's going to continue to go up. It's going up, I would say right now, it's about 6-7 times a year they're increasing those rates. They were supposed to stop at the last increase in September, but I have heard that they're going to increase it again by the end of this year.
I know, it's just getting out of hand. And then if you have a pool and a few other things.
I know, I'm like, I don't even know how anybody can afford it with a pool now. It's crazy. So it's increased by 36% just in 2023. In 2008, tier 1 prices, which are, so there's different tiers to it. There's tier 1 and then there's tier 2. Some people are on like, it's a different program. It's the same thing essentially, but it's just got a different name. So you're paying one price for power between up until 3 p.m. And then that's a different price from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. It's a higher price. So that's when most people are using their power, though, because that's when you're home from work, the kids are home, everybody's using it. You have to have the lights on because now it's dark, all of that. So that's when you're essentially using the most power. So what we have now are backup batteries. So what the backup battery does is it holds your power from your solar, so that during those hours you're pulling from that rather than from PG&E, because before people had their solar and then at night they had to pull from PG&E, so they're getting these huge true-up bills, which I've heard
Yeah, that's what I'm
ridiculous
finding.
amounts on
That's,
them.
I think, the biggest complaint I hear about. Well, I got solar, but I still have a utility bill. So,
Exactly. And some of them are really big. My neighbor has a huge one, and it's because they didn't give her the right amount of power that she needed. And because she didn't have the battery to offset it at night to where she's pulling from her battery rather than having to use PG&E during their highest price times. So now we offer, actually now I think it's mandatory now that you have to get a battery when you do it, because we're finding this problem with sending so much power back to the grid. It's just not working. And so we now add the battery to every home that we do. So then there's also a backup battery, because what's going to happen is PG&E is going to have to come through and they're going to have to start taking down all of the power lines, because they're going to have to repair them, because like I said, like they're over 100 years old, they're falling apart. So when that happens in your neighborhood, your power will be off for however amount of time that's going to take to fix that. It just is what it is. That's what they're saying. You just have to deal with it. But if you have a backup battery and you have your battery and your solar, you don't even have to worry about that, because you're good. You're set. So you don't have to worry about your refrigerator going out or your power or anything else. You're just like normal. And then I think that with you being a real estate agent, the good thing is you probably come across a lot of people that are looking to buy homes to rent out, because it's their business. They rent out the homes. The sad thing is, for renters right now, it's the homeowner that has to do it. So renters can't do anything about it. So if you have a home that you're looking to buy and put it up for rent, the best thing you can do for your renter and to get better renters in there, and more people are going to want to rent it, is if you have this solar already on the home, to where you can just add that price into whatever cost of their rent it's going to be. And then they know what their power is going to cost them every month, because it's a fixed rate. We can't increase it. The most we can increase it would be by 3.5%, because that's the inflation rate. So every year, that's the most it can increase. So you know every month what your power bill is going to be. There's no surprises. You can budget it in. So if you're a renter, you already know what that's going to be. And then that helps, because like I said, my sister, she's a renter and she's paying $950. When her landlord found that out, he felt awful. So the first thing he said was, yeah, absolutely, add it on there. So if you're looking to rent out a house, if somebody's coming and they're looking for a house to rent, obviously the house that has solar is going to be a better option for them, because it's going to save them money as far as their electricity rates go.
Now, you say battery backup. Is that something that, do the homeowner have to go flip a switch at night, or is that just something that it automatically kicks in first before it reaches out to PG&E for power?
It's already on. So with this program, you don't have to maintain it or anything. So the company that puts it on, they come out, they maintain it, they monitor it to make sure everything's working properly. If anything's not working properly, they will replace it or fix it at no cost. So for instance, some people are opting to buy instead of like doing a PPA. The only hiccup with that is, if you buy, the batteries are usually only good for 10 to 15 years. So if you're buying, now you have to replace this battery, which is $17,000, however much it is, which you have to replace that. But if you're using the PPA, you don't have to replace that. The company you're getting it from, they automatically come in and they replace that battery when it needs to be replaced. So it's no money out of your pocket.
But at night, does it automatically kick on, and that's where it pulls its power source from, is the battery versus PG&E? Because we're trying to avoid using PG&E, which is why most of us will go solar. So I knew they had put it mandatory, all the new builds had solar, whether it be a lease system or an owned system, that sort of thing. And I'm waiting for the day where they actually, all these homes that's already grandfathered in, I'm waiting for the day whenever they sell, it has to have solar on it. Well, doesn't matter what age they are. I'm waiting for that day.
Yeah.
It is
and that's another thing with adding it onto the house. If you do decide to sell, because I know a few years back, if you had solar on a house, it was harder to get approved for the solar than it was to approve to buy the house. which is ridiculous. But with this, the PPA, it automatically transfers over to the new homeowner. There's
Nice.
no, oh, you have to do all of this crazy stuff and now you have to apply for this other loan or anything else. It just automatically transfers over to the new homeowner's name.
That was an issue of, having to qualify them. So not only did they have to qualify for a house, but then they had to qualify for the, yeah, that was a huge issue. And it was a huge issue there for a long time, getting them transferred. I do think it's getting easier, but I'm finding at the end of the transaction, right, what's usually holding it up? The transfer of the solar.
Yes, exactly. And with this, it's nice and easy. Basically, with the PPA, it's the home qualifies, not necessarily the homeowner. The homeowner, it's pretty easy to qualify them. They just have to have, I think it's a 650 credit score, and that might be lowering here soon. But depending on which company you go with, it's a 650 credit score. If you're buying a home, you already have a 600, 650 credit score anyway. So that's the only thing we really need as far as a homeowner goes. As far as a house goes, it qualifies by whether or not it's got a good roof or the electrical panel needs updating and whatnot. But there are some instances where if you do buy a house and the roof isn't up to par, we can pull funds from what we get from California in order to add it, and we can help you with those repair costs so that it's still no money out of your pocket. So like with my niece, I'm working on getting her house qualified because it needs a whole new roof. So we're paying for the whole new roof. And so that's not anything out of the homeowner's pocket. Again, super easy. He's getting a new roof and he's able to add this to the house to benefit the renter.
So I think where that transfers over is maybe the payments a little higher every month. Is that kind of how that works? Whenever you have
we cover it. We get a certain amount of funds depending on how much power the house can get from the panels. If you have a lot of trees over your house and whatnot, you're not going to get as much power. So if it's a good house, like so my niece, her house, it has a lot of sun power coming to the roof. There's no trees covering it or anything else. So it's going to qualify for more funding from California because they need that house to not be pulling from PG&E and whatnot. So we're going to cover the entire roof. She's not, none of that's coming out of his pocket. It's just
very nice.
Said and done. It's covered. And I think it's like 10 grand or something like that.
Nice. That's a good program. So it'll cover the roof and probably the electrical panel, because some of these homes are older and not running at full capacity, even with the electrical. So nice.
So what we do is we have a whole process. So we'll get all the documents signed and everything by the homeowner. And then we send someone out to do a site survey where they're going to fly a drone and everything over the roof just to check the roof. And then they're going to send someone out to check the electrical panel and all the electric to make sure that works properly. And then once that's done and we get the okay with that, they'll let us know, okay, it needs a new electrical panel or it needs a little bit of electrical work, or say, like in this case, she needs a whole new roof. So they're going to let us know that so that we can put that in as something that needs to be fixed. So we can fix that. And then after that, they're going to pull all the permits they need from California to make sure everything's done correctly. They're going to pull all the permits. And then once all of that's ready, then they'll get up there and they'll add all the solar and everything on. And as soon as that's added on, then PG&E just flips a switch. And then now you're pulling your power from there rather than from PG&E.
So it can take a little bit of time. It's not like, hey, I want solar and tomorrow it's up there.
No, if somebody comes in and offers you that, you should probably look into the company because that you need to make sure you have all the permits and everything just to make sure everything's done correctly. So we try to work with some of the bigger companies, the more reputable companies, because there have been a lot of solar companies that have gone out of business. And say you're leasing from them, whatever the issue is with them, if you have a warranty with them, but they've gone out of business, now they can't help you with anything. So now you're still left on your own trying to figure out what the problem is. So we make sure we have all the proper stuff that we need through California just to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Right. That's a great service. I have found that there's been solar companies come and go. I mean, it's one of those things that like every other company. Sometimes I think they grew too fast and then they
Yeah.
couldn't support it in the end or something, so I have seen a lot come and go. So
Yeah, that's why I like this company, is because we work with multiple solar companies, so we can find the best fit for each individual depending on where they live. And we do work with the bigger companies that we know are not going to be going out of business.
very nice. Catrina, what's your contact information so everybody can get a hold of you and pick your brain on maybe getting solar on their home?
Yeah, absolutely. So my phone number is going to be area code 559-213-2750. And then my full name is Catrina Owens. So my email address is going to be katrinaowens23@gmail.com. That's going to be spelled with a C, CATRINAOWENS 23@gmail.com.
And we will leave that information down below also. Do you have a website or anything if they want to start doing a little research or?
They can look all of it up online. I don't have it on me right now, but I can send you some further information. As a matter of fact, I can come by the office and drop some stuff off with you if you'd like. But as of right now, you can text me, you can call me. I'm still fairly new to this company. I switched from a different company and moved over to this company. So I'm still in the process of getting my business cards and everything all on the up and up and redone and all that figured out.
That rebranding, we gotta love it.
Yeah. Oh
Part
yeah,
of
so fun.
career changes.
Right?
Sounds great, Katrina. Do you have anything else you'd like to share before we close out here?
Not unless you have any other questions.
Perfect. Everybody, it was great talking with Katrina and learning a little bit about solar. I know I learned a couple things that even I didn't know, and I thought I knew a lot about solar. So everybody, I will leave the information down below for Katrina. If you want to ask her some more questions or anything, just either get a hold of me or get a hold of her by the information down below. Everybody, this is Realtor Linda Peltz. My license number 01997670, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.